Hey everyone, Calais Stockstill, My ALF Training, My ALF Consultant. I think it's still starting. There we go. Hi everybody, My ALF Consultant, Calais Stockstill. Um, Wanted to try a live on Facebook. I've been doing them sometimes on YouTube, but basically want to try to help you with your journey in opening an assisted living facility or buying an assisted living facility. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask them here. I'll try my best to answer them whatever I can, complete honesty. Um, and in this live, I'm going to talk to you about some common questions that you might have opening an assisted living facility. Opening a new facility is definitely difficult. It's not an easy task. It takes a lot of effort. You have to have real estate, whether you own or you buy, or you rent. People already have properties that they can convert. The challenge with having a property already is sometimes, you think that I have this property, what can I do with it? So I'm going to turn it into assisted living. But that might not be the best property for you to turn into assisted living. It might be not the best location. It might not have the best layout. It might not have the most number of bedrooms. And ultimately, to open a facility, you're going to have um, a lot of expenses. Let's say just fire alarms and sprinkler systems. And the cost to put a fire alarm and a sprinkler system in a 6-bed house may be not much different than putting it in a 10-bed facility or something different. Now, people call me all the time and they say, well, what if I convert my house into assisted living? And one of the reasons why they like it is they don't owe anything on the house. So I tell them, I'm like, well, maybe your better option is to move that equity from that house into a much bigger property, because I think that, if you get into the business, a lot of people, they wish they had more beds. And if you started a 6-bed facility, you might want to have 8 beds. And if you have 8 beds, you might want to have 10 beds. So if you're only thinking about converting an existing facility that you have or property that you have, I would say again, maybe you're better off moving that equity over to a different property. Whether you can borrow money, take out a HELOC, and let's say you can pull out $200,000, and the rent that you could rent that property out for would cover the HELOC, and now you're in a price range of $1 million to $2 million property. And as far as borrowing money, it's much easier to borrow money on an existing business that's already set up than it is to borrow money on something that's completely vacant, that has no history of being an operating business. So I think unless you have a background in the industry and you have a history of operating these type of facilities, a bank's going to be a lot more skeptical of giving you, 500,000 or $1 million on a vacant property, whereas they'll be a lot more secure giving you that $1 million or whatever that amount is on a business that's already existing. So if you have the equity in a property, I think you should look at all of your options, because ultimately you have to look at it as a return on your investment. So let's say, for example, you have $300,000 worth of equity in a house, and you turn that it into a 6-bed facility. That means that your $300,000 investment is only returning you the income from a 6-bed facility. Whereas if you could move that same $300,000 into a $1.5 million 20-bed facility, I think your return on investment is going to be much higher. And in the end, if you can borrow money from one and buy the other one, you actually increased your real estate portfolio. And I think you'll like the business a lot more, honestly, if you have 15 beds or 10 beds than if you had 6 beds. It's just take it from me. I know I probably mention it in every single video, but I'm going to keep saying it. Anybody has any questions, please feel free to post them. So anyway, One thing I would say, let me just read one of my common questions that I get here. Um, Hold on. So, how do you what's the most effective marketing for assisted living? Well, I think uh, one of the most effective things is an involved owner. I can't tell you how many times people think this is a passive business, but I think an involved owner who has a passion for it and is going to be there to meet families, greet them, interact with their staff. This is a reputation business. It's not like buying a cupcake, where I walk into a bakery and I can just try the cupcake, and if I don't like it, I don't have to buy another cupcake. This is literally entrusting these people with your loved one. And, it's not like, it's just so important to have an involved owner. And so I think that if anybody's telling you that it's passive and you don't need to be involved, I think I would question everything else they say, because you might be able to get away with it, but ultimately you're not going to be as good as a competitor that lives nearby and is there and stopping by and bringing cookies and donuts for the staff and the residents, and throwing events and parties and holding open houses and networking with other people in the industry. So I would say, first of all, you have to do a good job. You have to do a good job, and you have to provide a high level of care within your abilities financially, so that you're still profitable. And then second is an involved owner. Now, I can tell you how hard it is to get reviews. It's very important to get reviews on all platforms, because you're going to get negative reviews. You're going to get negative reviews. A disgruntled employee, which you can try to fight. I've had to do that. You fire somebody because they're not doing a good job, and then they go on your Google My Business or on your Facebook and leave some stupid review that's completely false. And you fired them because they were bad at what they did and they didn't provide good care. And so you have to go through a appeal process and fight it. But ultimately, you have to know that in business, you're going to get bad reviews. So the best thing that you can do is be proactive and get good reviews. And it's going to take an effort from everybody involved. So your manager, your caregivers, your ownership is preach getting reviews. So when the families move in, tell them you're going to ask for reviews, and it's a big help. And have a template email that you can send out to families. If they compliment your service or say something nice, have that template email go out and say, listen, I appreciate your positive feedback. Would you mind sharing a review on Google or Facebook or whatever it is? Or maybe they'll just send an email back that you can use the quote in your marketing material, on your brochure. People used to create a testimonial wall in their business, which I think is a great idea too. So when you walk in, you have all these pictures of these residents, maybe past residents and families, and then maybe a little quote testimonial underneath it, or even a testimonial book. Those things all help. So when people come in for a tour, if you can give them a brochure, and on the brochure has these testimonials. And I would even take it a step further. If any of the families say, I appreciate what you do. You do such a good job for my mom. If there's anything I can do to help, let me know. Say, well, listen, it would be a huge help maybe if a family that's thinking of moving in, if I could give them your number as a reference. And if you have a bunch of families that are willing to do that, call them your super fans, then you can, rotate that, and that's only going to help. And the same thing would be is if you were doing a tour with a family and showing them the rooms, and then there was another family member visiting their mom or dad, and you pause, and they interact, the potential future resident and the current resident's family, and they give you a glowing review. That's such a powerful review. Like you're not going to get better than that. So having like a reference, current resident reference that you could give out their number would be a huge thing. And like let's say you were to join a franchise or something, like I don't know, whatever franchise you were going to join. Part of that process of joining a franchise is they're required to, before you sign any paperwork, they're required to have you talk to a few current franchisees. It's called like a validation call. And the franchise is always asking franchisees if they'll do the validation calls. Now, they're not asking the unhappy franchisees, they're only asking the happy franchisees. So if you do go through some type of validation, always remember, like, you're talking to the people that have the best experience, and there could be a whole nother group. But it's a very similar process, and it does help with the sales process. So I think that, you got to do a good job. You got to be involved, and and see if you can get positive reviews. I think that another thing too, which surprises me, is that people don't do a lot on social media. So when we were, our facility, we were constantly posting things that were going on, activities, pictures of families, and like very lively Facebook page and social media. And that just, if people look you up and it doesn't, if you don't have an active Facebook page, it kind of just looks really stale. But if you think of it like a living brochure, that in my brochure I can say we have fun activities, nutritious meals, caring staff, right? I can say those things. But you go to your Facebook page or you go to your social media, and like here it is, like in living color. Like here's the saxophone player playing, on the fifth, the third Thursday of the month, and here's a choir coming and singing, and here's we're doing a birthday celebration for one of our residents, or we're doing St. Patrick's Day celebration, and like this just brings all. It's like putting it more than just words, and so that's super important. Facebook has a lot of limitations in how you can run ads, but I think also another thing is events. So I know I give you a lot of information, but I just wanted to start doing some Facebook Live information. If there's anybody that has any questions afterward, post them. I'll respond. My ALF Consultant. Let me tell you about a couple of assisted living deals that we have for sale right now. We have a memory care facility near Nashville. It's a great opportunity. It's already doing well revenue-wise. It's $1.4 million, I think. I can't remember the exact amount. It's licensed for like 20 beds. Nice place, custom built for this purpose, and it's just overstaffed. The owner overstaffed it, and so if you're willing to go there, get your hands dirty, you can turn something around and turn it into a really cash flowing property. Currently, it's not memory care. She just switched over to memory care, so I think it's a great opportunity. We do have a great opportunity in Alabama. It's a 16-bed facility, custom built. We just picked up 2 listings in Georgia. One is beautiful, 20-bed facility, and it's got, I think actually it's 24 beds. I think it's 24 beds. And it's got like 21 or 22 residents. It's cash flowing extremely well, like extremely well. And we've listed it for only $450,000. So it's close, about an hour from Macon, Georgia. $450,000 for 24 beds, fully staffed with residents. It's a great opportunity, and you can get in. You got to move there though. Don't call me and be like, I'm in South Florida and I want to buy this thing. I'm not. I don't think you're the right candidate for it. I'm going to tell you you're not the right candidate for it. We have another one, another outside of Macon, around 16 beds. It is beautiful. I'm telling you, whoever goes there is going to be so happy that they got this opportunity to get a custom built 16-bed facility with country charm, beautiful landscaping. Every resident has their own private bedroom. It's fully staffed. It's full. It's got a waiting list. The only problem is This lady has owned it for 30 years, and her prices are like $2,400 for a private room. Now, we can make the numbers work at $2,400, but if the person going in can get the prices up to like $3,000, you've got just a turnkey, ready-made facility that you couldn't build. You couldn't build for less money, and you can get in with $80,000, maybe 160, 20% down might be ideal, and it's on like a couple acres. It's just beautiful. So if you're in the market for an assisted living facility, if you're willing to relocate, even if you're not willing to relocate, contact us. If you want to sell your facility, we have buyers all over the place, all over the country. You name it: Maryland, North Carolina, San Diego, Texas. We've got them all reaching out to us to buy facilities. So I hope this helped. I'm going to be doing more lives. Subscribe to the, follow our page, go to our YouTube channel, and see if you can find something good from this. Okay? Have a great day. Thank you so much.